was an avid water skier. She dated local ski jumper Bubba Forrester.
All right, folks. Here's the one question that needs to be asked. When is it so offensive to ask tough questions? I watched a thing on Black Conservative did a video on an ABC anchor asking the mayor of D.C. a tough question. And everybody on Twitter attacked her for asking a tough question. Okay. It shouldn't be offensive to ask any political figure tough questions. They are wanting, okay, let's see here. Okay. Now,
look, I know everybody's pretty upset about this. With the divisiveness.
Now, ABC's Martha Raddatz, the kids being a Nazi enabler for asking questions. This is the same anchor who was involved in the debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, where Hillary lost the debate as well as the election.
That he showed towards MAGA Republicans or Trump supporters, people whom he disagrees with politically, okay? And there's some people in the mainstream local media who have some common sense that listen to that speech and say, you know, I think Biden's going a little bit too far here, okay? It sounds like he may be declaring a civil war on about half of the country, right? And they're doing their jobs as journalists, trying to be a little bit responsible here and asking some questions. Hey, you know, I'm not necessarily sure if this is the right.
It's very rare that a reporter or anchor on a far left wing network to have a wild hair up their ass and ask tough questions. Now, Martha Raddatz asked questions to the mayor of D.C.
Approach. However, you get punished when you do that, okay? If you are a journalist, a liberal journalist, and you actually do your job of questioning the Biden administration, it makes the left lose their minds, okay? As ABC's Martha Raddatz is essentially being called a Nazi enabler for asking questions. A question that was interpreted as Martha Raddatz insinuating or suggesting that Joe Biden was engaged in hate speech towards Trump supporters. Again, this made the left-wing liberals lose their minds, okay? So let's actually read about this, and then we'll watch the clip and get into the reaction. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel and you support my channel, you can check out my new merch, my Donkey Pod shirts, the disease that is affecting America, or my hashtag No Days Off /hard work patriotic t-shirts, or my MAGA Hub shirts. There are plenty of cool merch for you guys to check out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code GForemanBCP. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Martha Raddatz on ABC's This Week with former Clinton staffers had the audacity to suggest that President Biden's
not mayor,
dark branded
staffer
speech was exactly what he intended it to be. Apparently, it became immediately clear to the Biden White House that this was a mistake because it's been cleaned up on aisle 46 ever since. Radiss's guest, Keisha Lance Bottoms, saw words of encouragement and optimism in Biden's speech. According to Bottoms, he was calling out to all of us. All of us, Radis interjected. He wasn't calling out to MAGA supporters who he called a threat to democracy. So, let's actually watch this clip that is going to make these leftists melt down. Take a look.
Whatever he said, the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, which tracks hate speech, said after the Biden speech, there was a surge online in conversations that said Biden's remarks singling out MAGA Republicans were interpreted as a declaration of war against conservatives and all the Trump voters.
Well, what I would say to that is that this is what this MAGA agenda has been all about. It's been about distorting the truth. It's been about misleading people. It's been about putting out information that inflames people. And I just encourage people, go to the White House website, whitehouse.gov, and read the speech for yourself. I've read it multiple times, and what I see in this speech, I see words of encouragement, I see optimism, I see a commander-in-chief who is calling out to all of us, no matter our political affiliation.
All of us? He wasn't calling out to the MAGA supporters, certainly. He mentioned them more than a dozen times as a threat to democracy. Has the president essentially given up on those MAGA Republicans, some 70 million people?
Well, what the president has done is said that he will continue to work with mainstream Republicans, that he will work with Democrats, that he will work with independents to get things done in our country. But this MAGA Republican agenda, this hate-fueled agenda, this MAGA Republican agenda that we saw incite violence on our nation's capital has no place in a democracy. And if we are not intentional about...
We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Plain and simple. End of story.
about calling it out, which is what the president did, then our country, everything that our country is built upon, is in danger.
Yeah, so the liberals are outraged about Martha Radis doing her job in questioning this Biden propaganda artist, because that's what she is. She went from Atlanta mayor to...
This is from Maralea on Twitter, replying to Trupar. What is wrong with you, Maraditz? Do you seriously want to live in a white nationalist, crystal fascist, anti-LGBTQ sexist dictatorship? If you so, just admit it on the air. This ABC Martha Raddatz is a left winger. She's a liberal. Okay? She's a liberal. Okay? So all these idiots on Twitter are attacking her because she's asking the right questions, you know. And it needs to be done. It needs to be done, period, you know. It needs to be done big time, you know. And I would not jump the gun just to judge her and jump her case because she's asking the right questions, you know. If somebody asks the right questions, see, people on Twitter have no argument. They can accuse anybody without any evidence of being a Nazi enabler, you know, being this, being that, being a liberal white supremacist, all that bullshit, you know. And Don Lemon still hold on to his bullshit because he had someone on his program saying the same thing, and he said that never happened. That never happened. Bullshit, motherfucker. Joe Biden called MAGA Trump supporters a domestic threat to our democracy. We are a constitutional republic, not a fucking democracy. It's plain and simple. you know, and it's driving these woke nut jobs crazy, because here Martha Raddatz is asking a question. She's asking a serious question, you know, and it's like, wow, did she just ask a tough question? My brain's frying. I think my brain just committed suicide. I can feel it bleeding. Oh man, people are fucking dumb, dude. Man, people are fucking dumb. You're accusing somebody who's asking a question to somebody who was a staff member for Hillary Clinton and is now a mayor of D.C. And I mean, I'll be honest, she ain't bad looking. For a black mayor of D.C., she ain't bad looking. Let's be honest, but the thing is, they're just throwing things out there to see what sticks, you know. But she can say what she wants. You know, she can say what she wants. You know, I don't care. You know, but people on Twitter are attacking her, attacking Martha Raddatz for asking a tough question. You know, like what the hell? It's just that when you are accused of being this, being that, being or whatever, for asking tough questions, you know. And again, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong asking tough questions, you know. And they're freaking out because she didn't ask softball questions. Well, I say, the hell with the softball questions. It's time to ask the hardball questions. It's time to ask the hardball questions, folks. It's time to do that. It's time to stop with the bullshit. Start asking the really tough questions. The kind of questions that make a person squirm in their chair, because these questions are becoming to be a little bit too uncomfortable. Good, tough shit. And you will get attacked for even asking the toughest questions. You know, like what Martha Raddatz did, you know. She asked tough questions, you know. And like, dude, man, you know. And it's not a bad thing to ask these questions because, hey, look, people are wanting to know. They're going to ask these tough questions, period. You know, they're going to ask these tough questions because it's time to ask the uncomfortable, tough questions. You know, it's time to do that. And if you're offended by it, well, that's just tough shit. Because if you're offended by these tough questions, you know, it's time for you to wake the fuck up and realize, look, it's not going to be tough for anybody when it comes to these tough questions, you know. And shit.
Propaganda artist for the Biden administration on the fact that, hey, you know, a lot of people feel like Joe Biden's words were divisive. In fact, so divisive that people are suggesting that Biden's speech was a call for civil war. And the spin that Keisha Lance Bottoms puts on this question really is one for the books, okay? She says, no. Biden wasn't trying to divide. He was actually trying to bring everybody together, right?
No.
He was calling out to all of us to come together as one. And then when Miss Martha Raddatz does her job and asks a follow-up question, saying, well,
when he says that Martha,
he actually was not calling out the Trump supporters.
people
in fact, he was saying they were
are a threat to democracy.
Keisha Lance Bottoms' response was the equivalent of what the Democrats say when they say they want diversity and inclusion. What I meant by trying to bring everybody together, I meant trying to bring everybody together that I like or that I like enough, except Trump supporters, right? We're willing to work with everybody. Democrats, Republicans, mainstream Republicans, that's what she said, independents, socialists, but those MAGA supporters, though, nah, we're not going to work with them. Wait, I thought you said you called out everybody. Everybody simply means everybody that we agree with, or we agree with enough. Okay, just like diversity and inclusion means everybody that we agree with, right? And that's not a straight white male, okay? That's what it means. So with that being said, liberals are outraged, okay, because Martha Raddatz here did her job as a journalist. As this person right here says, what is wrong with you, Martha Raddatz? Do you seriously want to live in a white nationalist, Christo-fascist, anti-LGBTQ sexist dictatorship? If so, just admit it on air so we understand you clearly. Wow. Wow, again, absolutely amazing stuff. The Lone Apple says, does Martha Raddatz think that Churchill also engaged in hate speech regarding the original Nazis? So here we go. Liberals comparing Trump supporters to Nazis. Again, these are the people that claim to be the party of Kumbaya. Okay, let's come together, right? And hold hands and stuff. But every time you look, they're calling people they disagree with politically Nazis. Okay, Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
Same Smith says, Martha Raddatz, if this were in 1939, why are you being so mean to Nazis? Martha Raddatz, if this were 1861, why are you being so mean to Confederates? Again, comparing us to Confederates and Nazis. We're sorry if you can't distinguish between GOP voters and Nazis or Democrats of the 1860s. You're just being dishonest or missing some gray matter. Facts. It appears that Martha Raddatz does not tweet often, so this exchange resulted in one of Twitter's most hilarious phenomenon. Rage replies to a completely unrelated tweet. Here's Raddatz highlighting a truly American story of a former Afghan interpreter making a new life for his family in America. This retweet was not sacred ground for the Biden spittle viewers. There's one person got in her mentions and said, just saw your interview with Keisha Lance Bottoms and it's time for you to step down. You are a disgrace to journalism. M. Gocoder says, you are a pathetic joke. Why are you pro-fascist? Have to wonder if you've been cheerleading the Nazis in the 1930s and go work for Fox News where you belong. You don't belong in any real news organization. Again, this is cancel culture, guys. This is cancel culture. Do your job as a journalist. Ask some simple questions. They're not even really pro-Trump questions. They're just questions. And, yeah, you're canceled. You need to step down. Right? You're not a journalist. You're a Nazi sympathizer. Martha Raddatz, you are such an apologist for GOP-led violent insurrection against the United States. It's reasonable to ask where were you on January 6th. Randy Mayhem Singer says, what the F is wrong with you? Do you really not know what actual hate speech is? Raddatz is simply joining Chris Lynch's CNN and Chuck Todd's MSNBC in enabling the Fourth Reich in the name of journalistic balance. MSNBC could own the Nazi opposition if they had the wisdom to take a firm stand against all Republicans. Hire back Keith Olbermann. Wow. I never thought in my life that I would see somebody advocate to hire Keith Olbermann for a journalist job. Okay, that guy is absolutely insane. And you have leftists clamoring for him to be on TV, okay, as if he's some type of reputable guy, a guy that literally got hit on the head, right?
Again, when did it become a crime to ask the toughest questions, man? You know, like, there has to be tough questions asked. And if you don't like the tough questions, go fuck yourself. You know, you need to ask these tough questions because by attacking her, it's like they feel like they're in a seat with the DC mayor and feeling the squirm of this question that they're being asked, you know. And they feel offended by tough questions being asked for real, you know. So I would say, dude, you know, you need to understand, man, you know, it just because times are changing for the important better. The ones who are attacking Martha Reddits are cloud-minded. And it's really just fucking nuts, man, you know. I mean, you're asked these questions because of what the president said, you know. I mean,
yeah, that shows you how insane these people are. They don't want any type of real balance, okay? They don't want any real fairness. They simply want mainstream level media to be a Democrat propaganda outlet, okay? They want them to push woke views, and if you push anything else that is opposed to some of these views from the left, you are enabling the Fourth Reich, right? In the name of journalistic balance. So again, this person is accusing CNN and NBC of being Nazis, enabling the next Nazi movement because they simply are saying, we just want some more balance. Okay, we want to have arguments from both sides. Okay, we want both sides of the story. We don't just want to be propaganda outlets anymore for the Democrat Party. That equals enabling the Fourth Reich. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. And Joe Biden, just yesterday, tweeted, MAGA proposals are a threat to the very soul of this country. So, again, they're trying to play the PR game here and clean it up. Well, it's not MAGA voters, it's MAGA proposals. As if, again, like I said, 95% of the Republican Party does not agree with Trump's policy. Where the real disagreement is in the Republican Party right now is whether or not Trump or DeSantis should be the candidate. In which right now, most people agree that it should be Trump. But everybody's basically in agreement with Trump's policies, right? For the most part. So again, when you attack his policies, and you say they're a soul to the threat of his nation, you clean it up a little bit, right? But at the same...
What policies is a threat to our republic? I won't say democracy, but I'll say constitutional republic. You know, it is. So, a lot of these dumbasses, if they have no fight or no argument at all, they're just going to throw out name calling like little kids, you know. Because that's what they're doing. They're acting like fucking children, you know, overgrown children, you know. And and I tip my hat off to Martha Reddit for asking those tough questions, you know, for growing a pair for once in her damn life, you know, asking the tough questions, you know. Because some of you may not know that some of these journalists and anchors are starting to question the president. They're starting to question the guy. You know, it's not looking good for the administration. You know, it's not looking good. You know, because when you think, okay, it's not looking good at all. It's not looking good. Period. No, it's not. It ain't looking good. But it's not looking good for rest of the media. It ain't looking good for rest of the left-wing woke mobbing morons who are trying to hold on a little bit of that insanity and shit and that idiocracy. Because they think that if we hold on to this just a little bit longer, we'll survive. No, you will not survive, man. And nobody's no longer falling for it. They're all waking up and realizing that something is wrong here. Something is really fucked up, man. Something is really fucked up, you know. And it is. Something is really fucked up. Something is really, really fucked up. And you know, like Chuck Todd and Martha Raddatz, they're asking tough questions, and the one that is not relenting, and that is Don Lemon. He's still continuing this push of more idiocracy and shit, you know. And you have to really pay attention to the news now, because there's a few that are starting to really question the administration. Seriously questioning the administration. You know, and it's not looking good for the Biden administration, because I don't see Biden winning his second term. I see Biden losing his re-election. I see a Republican beating Biden in the next election. You know, and it's not looking good. Not even for the Democrats, because Pelosi, she looks like she's about to fucking shit herself, you know, and it's about time that there needs to be a change. You know, I mean, there's this big paradigm shift that's kind of doing this, but kind of doing this. And it's fucking nuts, man. It's like really fucking nuts, you know. And these woke, mobby, left-wing Democrats and the left-wing media mob wants to keep it the way it is. They don't want change. They don't want to have it on an even playing field. They want it one-sided. You know. And my question is this: why do you want it one-sided? You know. You have to have it on an even playing field here, you know. And if you keep having it on one sided, you're going to have a rebellion, you know. And there's going to be people. There's going to be questioning you. And they're going to question you hardcore. They're going to question you hardcore on your credibility.
Hey, Tom. You're not doing a good job of distancing yourself from your original comments, which were that MAGA voters, that Trump voters, are a threat to this country. Essentially, what it sounds like a call for civil war. Again, when the journalists, when the mainstream liberal media questions this and says, hey, you know, maybe this is a little bit out of bounds, the liberal mob gets upset and tries to cancel them, okay? But yet they say, hey, look, the Republicans, not them, the Republicans and MAGA voters are responsible for all the hate and division in this country, right? They're the ones responsible for the hate and division, not the ones that are trying to cancel people, okay, and to stop free speech and to, you know, label everybody they disagree with Nazis and white supremacists. Those are the people pushing hate in this country, right? According to these guys. Let me know what you guys think.
The one pushing the hate are the woke mob, the Democrats, the neocon rhinos from the GOP. They're pushing this bullshit, you know. They are definitely pushing bullshit, you know, and it's not a crime to ask these tough questions to anybody, because we need to ask these tough questions. We need someone to squirm in their chair, because these questions are, to them, are going to be very uncomfortable, and we need them to be uncomfortable when it comes to these tough fucking questions. Unless you have the balls to actually sit there and actually take the questions, like taking a punch to the nuts, you know. But I guess that Democrats and the woke mob don't have balls. They're fucking neutered. Mindless, nutless, and cloud-minded. And so, ladies and gents, I am good old Grimlock, and this has been the Anonymous Republic Network. If you're new to this channel, please like, subscribe, comment below. Hit the bell for notification. Play share this video. And always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. Godspeed.